Okay, this conversation will be recorded, is being recorded. Um, just taking temperature on how people are feeling about Trunk, how people are feeling about how we're executing along these strategies, these votes. Um, we've added significant liquidity to both competitive liquidity uh, on the BNB side, on the Solana side. Solana side is going to take some time to grow, but we have competitive liquidity, about 3 million in liquidity for Trunk, which is pretty good. So and that's going to grow as the price appreciation grows and stuff. Um, I think we're well poised for the next leg up. Um, my question and my thoughts are that we're not 100% done with what we're doing there in terms of um, moving our resources to the tip of the spear. You know, Trunk is the tip of the spear. We've established a strong base in all of our products, especially with our strong lock liquidity with Elephant, with our strong treasury. Um, Looking at where we're at, um, I think it would be important for us to potentially think about bolstering our turbines. That's probably something I'd like to discuss today, um, as a final step. Looking at, I don't think I need to build anything anymore. We're competing against meme coins that do absolutely nothing and just have lock liquidity. Um, but even in the process of um, building up converting the 2 million of elephant $2 million worth of elephant into $2 million worth of liquidity, which was successful. Played that pretty much to perfection, including saving a little bit over about 135K worth of elephant left over to buy up remaining Trunk to pair with the $1 million of BNB that was, bridged over to Solana with low fees. Bridged that over successfully to Solana and paired it up with basically an equal amount of Trunk in worth $1 million at 50 cents. So even though we ran up to 60 cents, was I basically converted majority of that at 50 cents. You know, um, taking advantage of arbitrage, letting arbitrageurs do what they do, so that we could get the best price. But we're in a meme driven market. We're in a sort of, dare I say, Jeet driven market, gambling market, where people aren't afraid to take profit at very low multiples. So we have to just be aware of that, and we have to plan for that. And I think one of the best ways that we can plan for that is to acknowledge that, wow, wouldn't it have been great if we had gotten more Trunk into the turbines at 4 cents? If folks remember, it took a little bit of the first version of the first version of the turbines didn't get to production. The second version of the turbines are in production, and those are forever. and then they still had to be retrofitted with a proxy to basically be able to work properly no matter what market condition in infinitum. So basically, there was no buy throttling or on the turbines. So if there was too much trunk that needed to get processed, if it caused too much slippage, it would just fail out, and then the problem would get worse because more and more BNB would get accumulated, and in a single transaction it would cause too much slippage and we're out of luck. So that problem's fixed through a proxy, but now we have to make the realization that observe and realize that as price goes up, we have people that are not necessarily they're here for a good time, not a long time, is the phrase, right? And they're happy to take their 2x's and things like that. I know because I've done that in other projects. I've in a lot of meme projects like Whiff or Gummy and stuff. I'm not a community member. I'm there to make profit and bring it back to Trunk, bring it back to Elephant, bring it back to Futures. That's pretty much how I see any and every project outside of Elephant Money at this point. I don't even need to hold my own personal Bitcoin. We have community Bitcoin in the turbines, and that's going to grow forever. So I'm less concerned about Bitcoin. We've known what Bitcoin does. There's going to be opportunity, even now is an opportunity to accumulate a ton of cheap Bitcoin at this current price point. So I don't feel a need to front run the world when it comes to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to do anything, I'd be surprised if it does a 2x. If it does a 2x, that's amazing, but that's just a 2x, and that's not paying the bills here at Elephant Money. We're looking at for 3x, 4x quick. It's going to happen quick. We have to stay focused on those LPs. Here's the problem. We've gone from 4 cents all the way up to 50 cents. That's great. We've done, more than 14x. We're doing crazy X's. People have to remember that we're doing crazy X's. This is insane wealth generation. People are taking profit. And we're going to keep pushing forward. What I want to do is, hey, mute yourself if you're not talking, please. Basically what I want to do is, we don't want the turbines to be front run. We have a war chest. We got to use it. We built liquidity. We made the votes. We built liquidity. That's working out great for us. We're at 50 cents. We were at 20, 30 cents when? Not even 2 weeks ago. Everything we're doing makes sense. I want to fund those turbines. I want to make sure that the turbines get access to more cheap trunk. It's not sufficient for me for the turbines to stingily accumulate at the same rate as the community sees fit, because we have a mixed community. We have people that are know what we're trying to do, are DCAing, holding. We got people who are cheating. It's a public, permissionless protocol. We got haters and we got the biggest champions and the biggest haters all in the same pie, still using the protocol, right? And frankly, we've been here before. We have to learn from our mistakes and all that. So, Bertha's, journey up to 200 trillion, elephant, you know, that's a lesson in just all the community dynamics at play. A lot going for us, but we have to leverage our own experience. Like, no one else is doing this. No one else is this successful, by the way. No one is this successful and doesn't even have their circulating supply properly listed so that the world can see what we're doing and simply jump on board. We would be 10 times further along than we are now if we weren't being held back. But we're not unique in that respect, so don't feel too sorry for yourself. Like I said before, there are people who basically have helped build this industry, who own this industry, that are invested in multiple protocols, websites, news outlets, all that. They control a lot. It's centralized. They talk about decentralization, but the whole apparatus is centralized, as many industries are. So, and we'll work past that. But in the meantime, we focus on what we can control, and the turbines are a better mousetrap. Like, even the discussions that we've had, even the votes that we've had, we've only been able to have them because treasuries have whitelists. Treasuries, are beholden to custody. Custody is beholden to the community. Now, with a proper DAO, we can at least vote on these things, and we're in a more mature space where we're less out of the engineering phase and more in the long-term governance phase. The reality is, if we do anything remotely close to what we've been able to achieve in just the past couple of months with Trunk, being on a plan, being organized, being focused, pushing, we have tons of assets. We have tons of success under our belt. But basically pushing that to the side, putting everything else on hold, and saying we're going to focus on futures and we're going to focus on Trunk exclusively in terms of our execution, and then move forward from there, because that is what is applicable to this current market cycle. This is what people are interested in. They're not interested in anything else. This is a dumbbell cycle where you have Bitcoin on one end that is primarily being bought up by crypto OGs, family offices, and institutionals. Retail's not here for Bitcoin. All the protocols in the middle, no love. How do we know this? Because pretty much everything that has existed in the previous cycle is still 60% off down from their all-time highs. And that includes Solana. So that says that there's going to be a lot more crabbing and sideways action. And to be honest, I don't know if retail doesn't have the cash like they did in the pandemic. They don't have the stimulus checks. They don't have the low interest rates, and they have record-breaking inflation against them. They don't have them. Oh, and they're tapped out. Delinquencies in all forms of credit. The consumer retail is tapped out. What does this mean for the broader industry? It means for the consumers that actually have jobs and retirement plans, it means that they'll still gain some exposure to Bitcoin, which will fuel that other side of the dumbbell. But otherwise, they have no time to research or care about, frankly, pipe dreams that don't deliver, which is the majority of protocols that say they do anything other than hold money. So what's on the other side of the barbell? Meme coins. And that's what we're competing against. That's what's trending. We have meme coins flipping established protocols that actually do something, like Chainlink and things like that. We have meme coins flipping L1s, passing Arbitrum. Yeah, the top 50 is being littered by meme coins now. So that's the arena that we're we actually straddle both ends of that dumbbell. We have superior store of value with Elephant and with Trunk. These are stores of value based on how they're designed. And we also have meme appeal with Trunk. Simple token, shouldn't do anything, shouldn't have any taxes on it. Trunk does that, right? But we have to escape into the next level. We have to continue to build liquidity, protect liquidity. We have to establish strong holders. Trunk is fairly well distributed. The reality is, as price has gone up, instead of Trumpet increasing in stakers and increasing in TVL, it's decreasing. Trunk had a high of 77 million, which is a huge number, right? That's a huge percentage of 120 million, which is the total circulating supply. That has trended from 77 down to 68. Now, a good chunk of Trunk has been bridged over, but not enough to account for everything. So, and like people saw yesterday, we hit a high of 61 cents, and dipped back down to 49 cents, and now we're trending back up. But basically, people took profit there, and it was a combination of traders, but also, funds exited Trumpet. Either way, I'm just gonna say it. The Jeet trend is prevalent. The good news is that based on inflows in futures, and people just futures participants are the best participants in the world. Futures, people who hold futures and use futures every day, that's the best of us, right? And futures it's hard to break futures. Futures just works. And what we need to do is, but in terms of the accumulation of trunk, now Patrick just put out an article, said 77,000 per day. I don't know if that number's 100% right, because you multiply that by 30, you get like 2.3 million, and we don't have that in the turbine. So that might be for a couple of different reasons, though. But either way, I don't think we're getting quite that much per day. And obviously 2.3 million over the course of a whole month versus 2 million available right now is different. So we've seen we've basically put in let's see, 1 million, 1.5 million. We've injected 1.5 million into basically the BUSD LP. That's where, whether that's been, and obviously some of that we put in has been taken out, but that's fine. That value was transferred over to Solana, and we successfully achieved, turning $2 million worth of elephant into $2 million worth of USDC, and trunk perfectly balanced at the end of the day. It's, towards the end when things started spiking, that just goes to show that it doesn't take much coordination or capital to get our price spiking. The first 50 cents was the hardest. The next 50 cents will come quick. And obviously, as long as we give a little bit of time, we are accumulating long-term holders, and we can leg up. Getting back to what I think needs to be done, because trumpet holders are not necessarily going in the right direction, not what I would like. It's going down versus up. There seems to be some there's a break in education about how to become wealthy. Because if you're in trumpet, you're already in position. So if you're pulling out a trumpet, you're literally losing. You're like, the way coins get released, they're, in a fair system, they're released in the open market. You buy them, and then you stake them. You stake them for additional rewards. You're already staked. You're already at the place where you're just sitting back collecting, and you're actually letting the value grow geometrically in terms of value creation there, and you're getting yield on top of that. You're already in the pole position, and you're taking yourself out of position, and you're taking yourself out of the game by selling, just because, yeah, you got a 14x, but where else are you going to go? These other meme coins, and I won't even say other meme coins. Meme coins, Trunk is meme-like. Trunk can work in this environment, right? It has all the many of the strengths of meme coins, and then some, and just shares just a few weaknesses. It doesn't have value capture on sell, but it is what it is. So because trumpet isn't going in the right, because folks need to really understand how to hold, I'm comfortable with funding the turbine so that the turbine can hold more cheap trunk and hold, because this is what we know. Yeah, we could convince people that, hey, this is 50-cent trunk. Why are you selling it? But are people going to be able to hold $500 trunk? Are people going to be able to hold $20 trunk? Do your own research. I'm not saying what the price of trunk's going to be. I just know mathematically and based on just recent performance, which is only going to increase as participants, as we continue to generate the volume that we're generating, that we continue to trend on things like Dex Tools, Dex Screener, and as we work on our PR, work on our awareness around the project itself, have our in real life events, all of that. That's all going to help us trend upwards. We have our event in Nashville in August. We have a booth right in the center of the expo at InvestFest. 50,000 people were there last year. All business oriented people, all investment oriented people. It's called the conference is called InvestFest. Many of them are into crypto. Many of them are into memes. And our focus is just going to be trunk and getting people into trunk and building awareness around trunk and showing the trunk chart, which is important for people, the community at large, to help paint a good chart, because we're going to be that's going to be our main centerpiece, at these in real life events, as we get people to get into something that actually is performing better than NVIDIA in the past 90, 120 days. So I'm going to talk to a few other folks, but based on the current price of Elephant, based on the dollar value of Bertha, and the overall health of futures in general, I think futures is strong. I think Elephant token is strong. Don't worry about price, worry about liquidity. At the end of the day, we have the cash. You might not like the price, but we have the liquidity. Understand the difference between price and liquidity. Understand that price does not matter. Understand that our liquidity is ridiculously large compared to our market cap. Our liquidity at this point is pretty much half of our market cap, close to half our market cap. These are insane numbers. Don't be afraid of the price of Elephant. It means that there's a lot more Elephant in the LPs, but because of value capture mechanism, we have a ton of hard cash on the other side of those LPs versus the Elephant token. So it's our liquidity versus our liabilities that matters. And the other thing that matters is, and the thing you have to realize is, and this is the chess part. Trunk is attracting people to the ecosystem, right? The strength of all of our products, or the value, the perceived value of all our products, is under this umbrella. And so when one product does well, it rises the tide for all products and the attention. But what do you think happens when you have something like Elephant that has very good value capture, and it's more affordable than Trunk? Right now, Elephant is not more affordable than Trunk because the market cap of Elephant is larger than trunk. But what happens when trunk's market cap flips elephant? Then elephant becomes cheap, and it's still run all in the same business. That's not to say that we stop with our plan to keep pushing trunk. It just means that we know the elephant is an opportunity, and we know if we want to de-risk or take profit, you can actually take profit into elephant with deep liquidity and store your profit in elephant. The sky's the limit when it comes to elephant money. You can shave off profit and go into futures. Here's the thing: don't dump like an asshole. We're an on-chain protocol. When you dump, it paints negativity onto the chart. You have to conservatively take profit, take 0.25%, and take it over a couple of days, and wait your turn. If you see somebody took profit, that doesn't mean you take profit right after. You know how dumb that is? Like, let somebody else buy up the chart and you just wait. Let it go up past where it was before the sell. Like, these are okay. This is why we have rules. Like not everybody's a trader. Not everybody's a investment banker. But guess what? And we're not playing the trading game. We're playing the investment banking game. This is a community financial cooperative. We're about attracting capital. This is not a trading game. You're not here. You're not here to take advantage of. We're trying to attract others. We have tons of investment and capital coming in. Trading these short-term things, that just slows us down. We move much faster if we just DCA, hodl together, move up the chart, move up the parabolic curve together, take small nibbles of profit together in an organized fashion. You could be DCAing into Trumpet, or just DCA into your wallet and have discipline. One of the easiest ways to have discipline is you have a working wallet and you have a savings wallet. Everyone should be establishing a ledger-based or hard wallet-based or smart contract wallet-based savings account, multi-sig if you can. I use Gnosis Safe for us. I use Gnosis Safe for Savannah House. Do that. Move the lion's share of your funds, your no-touch bag, which should be sizable, and let it grow, and you should be feeding, DCAing to move that into basically cold storage and just let it grow. Bitcoin used to be less than $1. Now it's pretty much $70,000. How do you think that happened? It's because people held. But anyway, I think the last step is we've established liquidity. We've established uniform liquidity. on both BNB chain and Solana. It was really important for us to get the liquidity up in the wrap BNB pool. There's not much in terms of liquidity. There's not much There's not much trunk. There's not much trunk available. All of the trunk is sitting in the trunk BUSD pool. All the other LPs have less than 2 million or less trunk. So do you know how we are ready to pump? We are ready to pump past the dollar. It's going to happen. You saw how easy it was to push to 60 cents. People dumped into it. People will continue to dump into it if they are pulling their funds out of Trumpet. Stay in Trumpet and win. If you're already in Trumpet, you're already in position. When I say bridge over to Solana, I mean you should be everyone should be DCAing. We're trying to attract. We're trying to show that we have motivated not just holders that are waiting to dump. We have motivated buyers that know the value of this token or are continually accumulating it. And it doesn't take much. We just have to move in numbers. We don't need. I'm not asking you to give your last or your all, but I'm saying just like you can conservatively DCA into trunk. Into futures, and that's like $200 a month, $200 every 2 weeks, something like that. Do the same with trunk. And when we do that all together, the only thing we have to do is grow our numbers. Just double our numbers, triple our numbers. We have to triple our numbers. This is not the type of exercise where you make more by not telling people. You're getting into an asset that could easily, by market cap, in terms of price, you're going to be doing X's. Actually, just stick with market cap. What we were at 60 million market cap, 50 million market cap. I'm gonna take a look, but we've done numbers. We've gotten all the way up to half a billion. We can get to a billion easy with this. This is much easier to push, and the trunk turbines have fixed liabilities. The trunk turbine is hard coded to only pay 1% APR to the elephant treasury, to Bertha. That's it. There's no other liabilities. So it's going to win either way. So concretely, what I want to do is I want to put up a vote. I think we should, we have over, we have 70 million plus in liquidity for elephant. I think we should take 2 million. I don't think we need to front run or buy more Bitcoin. I think that's something that we're just going to keep doing. I don't think Bitcoin is going to have a moonshot. They're talking about a $1 million Bitcoin in 2030. I'm like, what kind of numbers we can do with Trunk right now? By just growing our community, that's it. I think we can afford another 2 million to just pick up 4 million, between 3 and 4 million actual trunk, double the size of the trunk turbine before this thing really takes off, before we pass $1. Because once we pass $1, things are going to get crazy. There's going to be volatility. But either way, the trunk turbine will have a nice start. If there is, say, a dump or something like that, guess what? We've already accumulated a little. We've already accumulated a lot, and we'll accumulate just a lot more. and then eventually the JITs will be shaken out. The paper hands will be shaken out, and they'll be locked out. They'll be locked out because everyone will be in position to buy that dip, right? And frankly, what's important is because we have our war chest, we don't have to beg anyone to do what we know needs to be done. Let me say it one more time. Because we toughed it out during the whole bear market, it's like almost the reverse of a bear, right? Like a bear, gets fat during the summertime, right? We got fat during the wintertime to spend during the summertime, to be able to turn on the afterburners, to be able to crank up the nitrous. We have the resources. We have to use them. We have to use every tool at our disposal to get ahead, because these people aren't our friends. Like, and we're not unique. There's tons of great protocols that are being gatekept because they want to sell shit. They want to sell shit and get rich. They don't want to change lives. But that's okay. Like, we know what we're doing here. We have a lot of practice at it. We are one of the longest running DeFi projects in the world, with deep liquidity. So at the end of the day, we're just shifting liquidity. If we take like say 2 million from Bertha, convert it to Trunk and put it into the Turbine, that's gonna raise. Doesn't have to necessarily. If people dump into that whole purchase, whatever, then that just keeps the price. It's going to keep the liquidity protected either way by the tokens that are pulled out. If people dump, that's just more of people not buying into the vision, not buying into where we're trying to go. But more importantly, that's still good for us because we have the tokens in the hands of the strongest holder, period. The turbines are way stronger than Bertha because Bertha can still be manipulated mainly by what we need to do, by our will. But we don't always make the right decisions, but we've never misappropriated funds for in the elephant treasury in Bertha. We've always, thank God, made the right decisions, which is why we're here where we are right now, why we have this opportunity where we are right now, why futures is performing so well and continuing to drive the flywheel. And now we have Trunk performing so well and continuing to drive the flywheel. Now Bertha is helping out the sister token, which is now carrying a torch, now carrying a torch for this cycle. And I think futures and Trunk will continue to carry the torch for this cycle and beyond. Futures perform brilliantly in the bear market, and it's performing brilliantly in the right now. Like this market is turning out to be a barbell dumbbell market where a lot of things aren't hitting in the middle. You got meme coins on one side, you got Bitcoin on the other side. Okay, great. Futures, a lot of people are saying if the market's going to crab, if I try to time the market, I might be down 20%, 30%, then how about I just go into futures and 2x, 3x my cash? So people are choosing that. That's working out. let me just go into Trunk. Trunk's performed brilliantly, up 14, 15x so far from the bottom. And that growth accelerates because of the fact that we're 100% on chain. There's no gaming in terms of our price. We just have to keep pushing. The main way to push is to grow our numbers, to get more participation. We have to show this to new people. You have to show this to the people that you know and say, hey, this is how I'm winning. You have to do that. And we're going to do our part. We're going to be ramping up PR. We have these real world events that are happening. We're working with a few calls. You're gonna see some of those. You have seen some of those. You've seen like some the YouTube. You've seen YouTube videos by sort of larger influencers. We're about to do something with an influencer that has over 600,000 subscribers, and his subscribers have been in the game the longest. Once we get people like that in, we're going to establish long-term relationships and keep it pushing from there. So this is the opportunity that is available to us. You got to spend money to make money. In this case, whenever we shift liquidity, energy is not getting lost, right? So I got a few things to do today, but at least by tomorrow, by Friday, I want to have not draft. I want to publish the proposal. I want to fund the Trunk Turbine. Just put a straight $2 million into Trunk Turbine to get to effectively double the amount of Trunk that's in the Trunk Turbine out of the starting blocks. Right? We're just at the start of this race. I need the Trunk Turbine to get access to the cheapest trunk. We need the Trunk Turbine to have access to the cheapest trunk before trunk gets expensive. And we need to make trunk will never be expensive to long-term holders. Just like if you bought $1 Bitcoin, you're a billionaire. Guess what? I was there. I made the mistakes. Don't make those mistakes. Don't make those same mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over again. We've all done it. We've all held something that, God damn it, I should have just held that. But if you can't hold Trunk, what are you going to hold? You're going to hold something where somebody just pressed a button on Pump.Fun, and you're not going to hold some of the best goddamn on-chain blockchain engineering that's ever existed. You're not going to hold that has ever existed. You're not going to hold that, but you're going to hold a standard SPL token. A person just pressed a button and added a picture and a description. You're going to hold that. These things are pump and dumps. Those meme coins are just gambling tokens. They make few people rich, and that's it. Trunk is something that can grow over time. People can responsibly take profit, make space for other people to come in, all that. You don't have to sell the home bag. Realize that your wealth is stored in Trunk. Bitcoin holders, their wealth is stored in Bitcoin, not selling Bitcoin. Once you sell, you're out. Once you sell, you're out of the rocket ship that's going to continue going and going and going. You're choosing to get off early on the ride, and you're just going to be left behind. That is what it actually means to sell early out of an appreciating asset. And you're definitely not thinking generationally. People talk about generational wealth, but guess what? If you want to truly build generational wealth, you got to hold the damn coin. You can't exit to cash and expect to have generational wealth. Everything will collapse in value other than these things, other than these digital assets that are borderless, permissionless. It's the one thing that we all can agree on. So that's why we need to hold it. So, in terms of generational wealth, that's what the turbines were designed to do. When we first set out on this journey, uh, I thought treasuries were enough. But they're beholden to the community and to custody, to execution. Every time a new governance contract is written, do you know if I have any errors or bugs in the governance contract? The treasury is at risk. That's why the treasury needs to be locked down. That's why the treasury needs to be 100% revoked. That's why the turbines were revoked on day one. They only can do one thing. They're hard coded to do one thing only. So I think that's it. I think I've shared what I've been thinking. Um, uh, After this vote, after this funding round to basically raise funds for the Trunk turbine, we've successfully smoothed out the liquidity for Trunk across 2 blockchains. Now we're gonna, our best shot against making the Trunk token Jeet proof is to give the Trunk turbine more tokens to lock up, so that, like, if Jeets want to participate, they're going to have to pay. Otherwise, we can continue to attract long-term holders, right? But if traders, Jeets, all those, they're going to be paying multi-dollar Trunk token, not cents. They're going to have to pay. So we got to raise that floor, and God willing, trumpet holders need to hold. If there's some Jeets up in the trumpet contract, performing this maneuver will tease them out. They can't resist. They won't be able to resist. They're gonna have to dump into it. They say, "Oh, price rise! I gotta take profit." All these things that these key influencers are saying. Oh, take profit on the way up. Pull out your initial. These are all the phrases of, if they were really, really rich, I don't want to say that, but God damn it. There's better ways to become wealthy, especially if you're in. Okay, I'll just say it. We are not traders. We are members of the first fully decentralized financial cooperative in the world. This is not an exchange where you can be a liquidity provider and collect fees. That's not quite the same. We are a financial cooperative. We row in the same direction. It is not a competition. There are no rug pulls here. So I'm done. I'm done explaining this. I'm going to stop the recording so that others can listen to this and that it's nice and clean. And what I'm going to do next is it's going to take some questions, but the recording is officially an hour. All right.